Hey, Wimberg World Entertainment, and this is the review for episode 3 of Strange New Worlds Season 3. This episode features zombies. Yeah, so last week we finished episode 2 with Jitterbug playing and everybody dancing. And this week we have zombies. Yeah, so that's a thing in Star Trek now. And I'm not talking about like some weird aliens. Human and Klingon zombies together. Yeah, it's weird. So, where do these zombies appear? Well, they appear on a planet called Kenfori, which is where they have to go to get this plant because Pike's girlfriend, whatever her name is, Captain whatever, as we know, she's infected with the Gorn. They did fix it in the first episode of Season 3, which seemed to be like a fix that was going to last. Now, all of a sudden, it's not lasting. And they need to take a drastic step, which is this plant. This plant happens to only be in one place. Not just is it on this planet called Kenfori, the planet is a designated no-go zone. Completely. So you're not even allowed to cross the border to go to this place. So this is an unsanctioned mission, of course. And it's where there was a Federation outpost, that they had to abandon during the Klingon War. So you're kind of getting remnants of Discovery with the whole Klingon war and stuff. The Klingons in this treat them that you get to see like as normal Klingons. Yeah, visually they look a little better than what we've seen before. They have standard Klingon kind of heads now. Not original series, TNG version. It's a slightly still bit of a big head to it, but nowhere near like what Discovery did. However, their clothes are still the Discovery style clothes that they're wearing, and their shuttle, the little shuttle they take down to the planet, is one of them very Discovery shuttlecrafts, which I'm pretty sure the design was also with one of their big ones, I can't remember. And they have a ship like a D7 class style of ship. That's the only thing that looked properly Star Trek shippy for the Klingons. But they go down to the planet, M'Benga and Pike. Spock was going to go with M'Benga, but they're like, no, you can't. And it's funny because you got that moment with Spock. It's like, Spock would never have agreed to this type of mission, but either way. And they go down. There's absolutely no life signs whatsoever on the planet. Like, literally nothing. Not even fish. And they find the skeletal remains of a Klingon. They said with his chest burst open from a phaser from the inside. I'm pretty sure they said from a phaser from the inside, which made no sense. But whatever way they explained that, the one thing they did say is that the chest was burst open. So I was instantly thinking, oh god, more xenomorphs, cool. But it's clearly the zombies obviously were meant to have ripped this person open. And they do start finding other body parts. Now, the Enterprise goes and kind of hides in this. The planet has like a big asteroid field around it for some reason. And they see the Klingons show up, but the Klingons haven't detected the Enterprise. The shuttle, the Klingons go down. Oh, by the way, Rebecca Ramore as number 1 in this episode. She's in charge on the Enterprise. My god, now the wig they have her in this season is horrible, but sweet Jesus what they do with it this episode. It's like, wow, somebody made a choice to do that, and they went, okay, and it was a bad choice. There is more stuff on the Enterprise which I'll get to, but while M'Benga and Pike are down the planet, they do find this plant. You can't actually just grab this plant, you have to be very careful because of the toxins or something it gives off. And everything seems to be overgrown now on the planet. And this is when Pike kind of finds out what the actual plan is with this cure for his girlfriend, which isn't exactly what he thinks it is. And as they're getting ready to leave, they see the Klingon shuttle. Now, this part was in the trailer, but it's dumber when you see it actually play out. Because they see the shuttle, the Klingon shuttle, fly down towards and fly over their shuttle, like the Enterprise shuttle, which is sitting there in the wide open. And M'Benga says, do you think they saw us? And the Klingon shuttle turns around and shoots its phasers basically and blows up the shuttle, and Pike goes, yeah, they saw it. It's like, you literally are looking at your shuttlecraft out in the middle of nowhere. It's visible from everywhere. A Klingon shuttle just flew over it, and you're actually asking, hey, do you think they spotted that thing sitting over there that shouldn't be there? It was retarded. But these Klingons come in, find it. Klingons are hilarious. There's 3 of them, 2 guys and a woman. A fat, diverse woman. I kid you not. You see her and you're like, oh my god. But they go after M'Benga and Pike. They get captured by them, and all of a sudden this is when the zombies come out. And yes, it gets violent. We see one of the Klingons, he starts getting ripped apart by them. They all run away. Pike and M'Benga get away from the Klingons and the zombies. They get to a room, and this is where Pike finds out exactly what this treatment is going to be for his girlfriend. It's not just a treatment, it's actually basically going to slowly turn her into a Gorn, because it's the only way they feel they can survive, and it's her idea as well. She wants to go through it. Pike's the only one who didn't seem to know about this. He's furious, but zombies break in. Both of them have phasers, okay? Don't know what happened to M'Benga's. He must have dropped it, or maybe he threw it away or something. I can't remember, because all of a sudden he doesn't have one, but Pike still has his, until M'Benga tells him once again to do one of the most retarded things. Hey, set that thing in overload and just throw it into those zombies over there. So that's exactly what they do. So they have no weapons anymore. And it only takes out like 5 of the, I don't know, 25 zombies that are coming through one window before they start coming through the doors. Like, that was a great idea to throw away your only weapon. They jump in and hide in a cupboard. All of a sudden, the zombies get taken out, door opens. It's the Klingons, the 2 that are left, the fat one and the guy. More zombies come, grab the guy. Your woman instantly shoots her man. She doesn't even shoot the zombie, shoots him and goes, better him than me. Yous come with me. She takes them up. And it turns out, now I don't even remember what season this happened in. She's the daughter of a Klingon that M'Benga during the Klingon War killed, basically. That he was a warlord, essentially, of a Klingon ruler on the planet they were stuck on, having to fight. And he killed him. So this guy was a turncoat apparently against the Empire, so her family has lost their honor. So for her to restore her honor, she had to assassinate her father, but her father's already been killed, so she has to go and assassinate the person who assassinated her father, who happens to be M'Benga. It gets all convoluted. She stabbed Pike in the leg, so he couldn't do anything during this. They have a fight, and M'Benga wins the fight but doesn't kill her. Then she decides to sacrifice herself to the zombies, thinking suicide basically is a honorable way to go out. It's weird. And then they get beamed up by the Enterprise. But for the Enterprise to get to them, we have to go to what's happening on the Enterprise. So they now know the Klingon ship is there. And what are they going to do? How do they get M'Benga and Pike back? So they don't know that the shuttle's being destroyed, and they don't know that there's Klingons down on the planet with them. So their idea is to go, okay, if we turn off basically all the power and we just drift in through the asteroid field, we'll basically just look like a bit of the rubble and debris in it. We can get to the planet, but it'll take about 4 hours. The helmsperson, Erica, who now seems to be having PTSD or some crap, instantly shuts that idea down. Now, this is Spock and all that says, like, it'll take 4 hours and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, that won't work for me. It's like, oh, here we go, already talking down to Spock. And they're like, well, what's your plan? And her plan is to go to warp. Now, remember, they're literally beside the planet. They're not like a mile away from it. They're practically beside it. Go to warp, come out of warp in the atmosphere of the planet, beam them up, and warp out of there. That sounds all well and good, but they're like, yeah, but that's too much of a risk. We don't need to risk it if we don't have to. The captain and stuff can survive 4 hours. We'll go with Spock's plan. She gets a bit annoyed with it. So that's the plan, to drift the Enterprise in. And of course, Na'an is the only one who brings it up to number 1 and says, like, Commander, like, are we going to talk about this? Like, was pretty insubordinate there, which is actually the first time they've ever brought this type of crap up, when it's like, you are all insubordinate constantly in this show. But they actually bring it up and they're like, we'll keep an eye on her. So they're drifting through the atmosphere thing, or the thing. They just drift by, like literally right beside the Klingon ship. And they're like, yeah, we haven't been detected. And all I can think is, that's not how that would have worked. Especially the ship being that close. If you were out further away from them, yeah. But you were literally floated right beside them. All they had to do was look out a window and go, hey, is that a Federation ship? Either way, they drift past them. The ship is starting to, because they've shut things down, starting to freeze a bit. So Spock recommends lowering the speed a bit. That'll up the time frame to 6 hours rather than 4. The first officer, number 1, she's like, I agree. Whatever her name is, drop the speed. And she's okay. And clearly she drops it, but clearly runs it back up again. Just enough so the Klingons will detect her, so she could execute this plan that she wants to warp speed and blah, blah, blah. Now, in between all of this stuff, we're flicking through different things. We're going back and forth between the Enterprise and Sickbay and M'Benga and Pike on the planet. Oh yeah, Spock, Pike's girlfriend, starts having super pain that nothing's curing, so they bring Spock in to do a mind meld. He freaks out. He pushes a new ensign that's on there. The only way to snap him out of it is, once again, for him to be slapped. So he gets slapped. He saw something. He's not sure what it is, but the girlfriend saw it as well. So these two know there's something up. And it seemed to be a Gorn. He seemed to have a vision of a Gorn or something. So that was all with that. But now they have to execute the plan. Here's the weird part. They never turned around and said, okay, Erica, we get to execute your plan now. They're just sitting there trying to come up with ideas of, okay, how are we sure they spotted us? Oh, they're on a direct course with us. Have they raised their shields? No, we shouldn't do it then. It would look like an act of aggression. All this stuff. Then the Klingons do start raising their shields. So they're like, okay, we need options. Nobody says, Erica, we're going to execute your plan of going to warp speed and drop out into the atmosphere. And while they're saying we need options, we go to one of the scenes with them on the planet, like Pike and Ting. And then we go back to the Enterprise in full warp. And it's like, wait a minute, why are we in warp? And then it comes out of warp into the planet's atmosphere and all this crap. And you're just like, wait a minute. You were literally right on top of the planet. If you went into warp, you wouldn't even be close to the planet. Especially for how long we were looking at it in warp. You would be thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles away. Even at warp 1. But they don't know how that crap works, do they? So they execute the plan. They beam them up. Voila. And it pretty much ends with Erica getting a stern talking down. And actual disciplinary action being taken against her. She's brought in to speak with the commander, number 1. Even though she walks into the room like a bleeding 20-year-old TikToker, she's like, hey, what's up? What's going on? This seems formal, doesn't it? And they're like, yeah, we know you did that on purpose and crap, and you know what's going on, and you're being very insubordinate and all this crap. So you're being relieved of duty for like 2 weeks or some crap, and you have to go and see some doctor or some crap. And that's pretty much how it ends. So overall, it's just another slow-ass, boring episode. And M'Benga is good. I like his character. But they really do nothing with him. He's always just like, this kind of like... They try and give him phrases to say that we've heard being said 1,000 times better from other people in other things. Like he literally does the whole, I'm ready, or I'm prepared to die, are you? That phrase is done in this again. But overall, yeah, it's a dumbass episode with dumbass choices made. And it's just like the science that should be there, they really don't know how it works. Like a ship can't just go from an orbit of a planet to warp speed and stop in the atmosphere of the planet. As soon as they hit warp, they're gone. But it is what it is. So that's the review for episode 3. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.